kidless in Connecticut. Kristen Tsetsi has been a contributor to News 8 weekends in the last several months, talking about books. Today, though, another topic. She's one of what she says is a growing number of young women who don't want children. She says for her, life is complete and satisfying without kids, and although she has a loving partner, the pitter-patter of little feet will never be heard in her home. Anything wrong with that? Well, you decide. Please welcome Kristen Tsetsi. Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
Yes, and of course, so this is a different topic. Now, doesn't it say in the Bible to be fruitful and multiply, have children, or maybe I'm paraphrasing, but so is it sort of I don't know, is it against God's will to not have kids?
I wouldn't call it an anti-God action. People will find all kinds of things in the Bible to justify an argument or to justify pressuring people to live a certain kind of life. And other people's ideas of what their Bible rules tell them don't apply to me, so it doesn't really bother me.
Okay, gotcha. Now I understand we might have some pictures of you as a child.
Yes.
All right, maybe we can throw one of those up. So you look like this, I'm just judging from this photo that you had a blissful childhood.
I had a very typical happy childhood, yes.
So where does the feeling come from that you don't want to have kids?
I guess the same place the feeling came from that I don't want to be an accountant. It just never occurred to me as something that I would want for my life.
Sort of like a vocation. It's something that you might just not want to be a parent, because that is a job unto itself, isn't it?
Oh, it's an entire lifestyle choice. It completely alters your entire existence. Yeah.
That's what I'm told, because I don't have kids either.
Okay.
Some people might say that somebody like you or me is selfish.
They might. And in fact, last week, I think, on Fox and Friends, a very cowardly Tucker Carlson from behind the safety of his camera called millions of women the height of selfishness for not wanting to have children. And he went further to imply that our role as females is really kind of insignificant unless we have children, because if we're not having kids, apparently we're just trying to find more time for a spin class.
Oh, boy.
So it's that kind of...
Did he call me selfish, too, by the way?
No, you're not a woman. It's fine.
Oh,
it's
is
okay.
that how it goes?
So it's that kind of very open acceptance of people defaming women who simply have made a certain lifestyle choice that I wrote No Children, No Guilt. It's under the name Sylvia D. Lucas for branding purposes. It's very important, they say. No Children, No Guilt is just $3.99 on Kindle, but it pulls from personal experiences. It's not a memoir, but it does pull from my experiences as a younger woman feeling pressured to have kids. And it's a humorous, light take on it that doesn't address trying to explain to other people why we don't want kids, because frankly, it's none of their business.
That's true.
Instead, it says to young women, it's completely up to you. What other people think doesn't matter. Let it be your choice and try to be happy about it and just make the decision that you want to make.
You don't seem like you're missing anything. Do you feel like you're missing something, or is your life complete without kids?
Because I never wanted children, it's perfectly complete without kids. If I wanted them and couldn't have them, it would be a different story, but I have no desire.
Now, tell me about what your family thinks, if I may ask.
A couple years ago, when I was sure enough and confident enough to say to my dad, I'm never having kids, he said, well, you and your sister are the best things that ever happened to me, and he called me selfish for not wanting kids, and I had
because he wants grandkids, maybe?
No, I don't know. Maybe just because he knows how much work it is, and maybe he thought I was trying to get out of the work. But selfish behavior is behavior that you do to pursue your own interests that negatively impacts someone else. And the choice I've made to not produce something hurts nobody, unlike the 5 kids a day who die of abuse and neglect at the hands of their caregivers.
So is this sort of affected by sort of the world at large and what goes on in this world? Does that maybe affect your decision?
No, I just don't want them.
You just don't want them? Okay.
There are a lot of reasons other women don't want children. Some have environmental concerns, some have illnesses they don't want to pass on, some were mistreated by their own parents and they don't want to perpetuate that violent, family lifestyle. But for some, it's very simple. You just don't want them.
Okay, now this might be a loaded question, if I may ask. So what would happen if you became pregnant unexpectedly or maybe beyond what you wanted?
I would have to be forcibly assaulted by somebody because procedures have been taken to make sure that doesn't happen. But if I were to somehow magically become pregnant, I would consider abortion.
Okay. Well, and certainly you're not alone in that regard, I'm sure. Now, as far as, let's talk about famous women maybe, and/or men, but famous women, I think you have a list of some who have foregone being parents.
Oh, I do. It's an extensive list. We have the lovely Cameron Diaz.
Now, does this mean she has decided against it?
She has spoken. She's actually publicly said she doesn't want kids. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oprah Winfrey does not have children. Condoleezza Rice, no children. Louisa May Alcott didn't have children. Margaret Cho is kind of famously child-free, as as it's called. Chelsea Handler has said she doesn't want children. Ann Coulter doesn't have them. I don't know if she doesn't want them. I'm not too concerned with what Ann Coulter wants or doesn't want. Ellen DeGeneres doesn't have children, and I mean, obviously she's gay, so they're not going to produce them, but she has said that she and Portia de Rossi don't want children.
And not through intercession either.
Right.
Yeah, like in vitro.
Maureen Dowd has no children, and Anita Hill has no children.
So, and these women, I think it's safe to say, at least have made names for themselves, at least, and hopefully had a very fulfilled lives, I should say, by not having, or including not having children.
Yeah, whether it is related or not is, well, the thing is too, you don't have to, everybody is not going to be president or be famous like these people. You should feel entitled to live a perfectly average, perfectly normal life with or without children.
Very good. Well, freedom of choice, after all, isn't that right?
It's America.
Kristen Tsetsi, always a pleasure. Hope to see you
Nice to
again,
see you.
regardless of the topic. Very interesting stuff. You know what, we're going to go to break in just a few moments. Of course, if you want any more information, go to WTNH.com. And coming up, Say It Ain't So, Joe. A new report that says just how much coffee you can drink, or maybe not drink, until you get